Welcome back to part 3 of the fitness app. And what we're going to end up doing today is we're going to take this text and we're going to visualize it. We're going to make a pie chart out of it. What we have here is our heart rate zones, which is out of range, fat burn, cardio, and peak. And then we have the raw heart data down here. Right now, I didn't do any calories out in the peak, cardio, or fat burn. So all my stuff is out of range, meaning I didn't really work out at all. So my pie chart right now is not going to be very colorful. It's just going to be kind of one big pie chart. And it's going to end up looking like this, which 100% out of range. And these are zeros. Basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot this video, then I'll go work out, and then I'll come back, and then I'll show you what this looks like when it's actually broken out. So if that sounds good to you, let's get started and develop this thing. Alright, so here we are. We're back in our app. We're already in our virtual environment. You can tell because we're in the VNV right here. And we're going to use Plotly to graph our pie chart. So what we're going to do is we're going to do pip install Plotly. And I need to install correctly, I guess. And then we'll do that, and then it will install Plotly. So while that's installing, we'll go up here to line 6, and what we're going to end up doing is we're going to import Plotly. Alright, so after we import Plotly, what we want to do, since we're only going to use the graph, we'll do graph, and then we'll do objects OBJS. And then we'll do that as go. So now we have that package imported in here. And we're down here, we notice that we are done installing the Plotly package, so we should be able to use it. And obviously we already put the import statement in there. And we'll go ahead and start coding with it. So let's do this. I'm going to fix the spacings here a little bit. And then I'm going to go down here and go down to our dashboard. Right after the heart zones, we'll start coding here. And let's see, we're going to prepare the data for the pie chart. So what do we need to do? Well, we need the labels. And we're going to take those, zone, and then we're going to name for the zone in heart zones. Okay, so we got that in there. So basically what we're doing is like these heart zones right here. We're calling it from this heart zone up here. And then the zone in heart zone, so for each zone that we had, we're going to have that, and we're going to take the zone, and then we're going to get the name, and it's going to loop through that. So that's basically what that's doing. So the next thing we need to do is get the values, and it's going to be very similar. We're just going to have the zone, but this time we want the minutes, and then it's going to be for zone in heart zone. Heart zones. And now we have the labels and the values. So for the people who are a little bit more, they want to see it. If we go back over here to our, what we had earlier, right here, this is the name, and this right here is the minutes. So again, when we look at the code, we have like zone name for zone and heart zone. Again, this is the heart zone information here, the name and the minutes that's right here, name and minutes. Again, that's pulling from minutes and name from up here, and basically we're just looping through and getting that information. Alright, so now that we got that straight, let's go down here and we'll end up putting in our pie chart. So let's go pie chart, and then we called our plotly graph we imported as go. So we're going to go. We're going to need a figure, and then it's going to be data equals go. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to make a pie chart. So that's going to be pie, and then we want the labels from that pie chart, and we're going to call in labels, and we're also going to need values, so we are going to call in the values as well. Okay, and then everything looks good there. So I got value. Oh, I put a comma. Why did I put a comma there? Value equals values. There we go. And then spell labels correctly. There we go. All right. So that looks good right there for the pie chart. And we're going to need to make sure that we take our pie chart, and then we want to update the layout. So we're going to update the layout, and we're going to have title, and then we're going to do the text, and we are going to call it the heart rate zones, and then minutes. Alright, so now that looks correct. Alright, so now what we're going to end up doing is we'll take this and we're going to, let's see, what do we want to do? We want to convert the plotly figure to a dictionary. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to graph it as a dictionary. And we're going to do that by doing the pie underscore chart, and then we're going to do a to the dictionary, just like that. So that looks good, and then everything's looking really good here. Down here we return the templates. This is the regular dashboard HTML that's calling this HTML. I kind of want to keep my HTML up here. So what I'm going to end up doing is just put a 2 at the end of this. Now, just when I do this, I want to show you something up here. We're still calling dashboard up here /dashboard. It's just down here. It's just telling it to go to board2.html. I don't have it made yet, but we are going to make that. We're still going to have the request, the heart zone, the heart data. But this time what I'm going to end up doing is we're going to also bring in the graph, DICT. And then we are going to call in the graph DICT, just like that. And then we should be done with the code right here. Looks pretty good. So we're going to hit Control S and save it. And then we're going to have to create the dashboard too. So I'm going to go up here to my templates, and I'm going to create a new file, and I'm just going to call it dashboard2.html, and that way we can call it up there. So now we're going to have to start coding our HTML. Alright, so what we're going to end up doing is we'll go ahead and then create the HTML file. So we're just going to do doc type HTML, and then we're going to do HTML, and I'm just going to put a little bit space down there just to keep it separate. Then we're going to do the head, and then inside the head we're going to do the title. And then for the title, we're going to call it our Fitbit dashboard. Okay. Then we're going to have to put some script in here. And I'm just going to copy and paste it just to make sure I get it right. And basically, we're using this JavaScript right here, and this is the website that it's going to grab that script. And it's pretty much, simple as that. Then, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to create the body. And then from the body, we are going to put a little bit of text in here. And we're going to say heart rate zones. Alright, so now we have the body and we have the heart rate zone. What we're going to do is we're going to create a div ID equals, and then this is going to be pie chart. And we close out our division tag. So now what we're going to end up doing is we're going to do a script, and I'm going to put a couple of enters up there. Then let's see var for variable graph equals, and then the standard brackets, and then we're just going to do the graph DICT, and then we're going to do it safe, right? And then from there, we'll need a semicolon, and we're going to do plotly, and we're going to do a new plot. And we're going to do the pie chart, and then we're going to graph the data, which is this variable up here, graphs, and we're just going to call the data right there. Then we're going to do the graphs, and then we're going to do the layout. Alright, so let's take a quick look at this. Okay, so looking at this, I noticed the graphs here and then here. So this has to be spelled correctly, so we're going to call it graphs. So now everything matches. And actually, I know that we made this a dictionary, but we're going to have to make this as a JSON. So we'll do to JSON, and this should be good to go, right? And I'll go ahead and save that. The next thing that I want to do is I want to go back here to our main, and up here on line 86 for me, where it says pie chart equals go blah blah blah, this pie right here is actually capitalized, so we need to make sure that we capitalize that pie right there. Rather than that, everything looks good. We'll go ahead and save it, and then down here what we're going to do is we're going to go to the UVcorn main :app reload and hit enter. And then if everything goes right and we didn't make any mistakes, this should work. So right up here is the IP. So we'll go ahead and click that. It gives us the callback like it should. And up here, we're just going to type in dashboard. And there we are, our heart rate zone. Everything's out of range, so I haven't worked out, and everything looks good. So let me go for a walk or something and try to get some activity in here if I can show you what this looks like when you actually have activity in it. Alright, so I worked out a little bit just to show that this thing works. So basically, like right up here, I got my percentages. So like I didn't work out for like 38 minutes when I wore my Fitbit. And then over here, um, I got my heart rate up for 2 minutes. So that way you guys can see this. Now, if you look over here, I can turn off peak and cardio just by clicking on them. And then it's going to take these zeros out because that's what that's measuring. And now I'm just only seeing these two. Now if I want to see all red, I can take out the outer range, and it shows my whole 2 minutes of fat burning. And then I can click my outer range back on, and we have it up here. And obviously when I move my mouse, I can see what it is or the activity and see some of the stats in there. And again, I'm talking about this is only like a 2 minute workout. So if you actually push yourself and work out, you'd see the cardio and the peak, and you see this multicolor up there. You can take your picture and download it as a PNG. You toggle to show closest data on hover, and then that just takes you to a plotty site. But this is pretty much it. So now that you know how to authenticate, you know how to pull some stats down, and you know how to pull a simple pie chart. Now what you can do, you can take those other stats, you can go back to the documentation, and maybe you can build a bar chart or build a trend line or build different charts with the data that you want to see. And then you can use your HTML and just kind of make this into any display that you want. So leave in the comments on what you plan on tracking and on how you plan on using it. That's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time.